How often do you use Chat GPT on a daily basis? Because I use it all the time.
At work, I don't touch it. But in my personal life, it's, and for the show, really, like what I'll do is it helps me sometimes just create some outlines for how I'd like my episode descriptions and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's all my writing, and I'm kind of one of those guys that is like so weird about like if I put it in ChatGPT and I just copy and paste it, I just feel weird about it. I don't know. I'll get over that eventually, man.
Definitely doing it for like the SEO value for my YouTube descriptions. I think it's so beneficial because I could spend 30 minutes trying to come up with a good description, and then the title itself, that takes time because I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are the keywords that we can use? I just plug it into ChatGPT, take the audio file, plug it in there, and it spits out something that's similar to what I would want it to say. And it literally takes no time.
And the other thing, honestly, is whenever I'm creating reels and stuff for social media, I'll throw it in every now and then. I'll throw it in on Riverside. I edit everything, call it manually, right? But Riverside does a really good job of pulling out some like key components.
What is Riverside?
It's a podcast editing software.
Okay.
Audio and video.
Oh, all right.
Using AI.
Okay.
It's pretty nifty, man. For a guy who doesn't know what he's doing in terms of the editing side and really is learning everything kind of on the go here.
As you should. That's awesome.
It's at least teaching me what to look for.
YouTube will save you hundreds of dollars from all the people who are like selling their, tutorials or education platforms. Just YouTube it.
YouTube, man.
It's been a lifesaver in so many of my personal cases or personal instances.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, it's just the way the world works. So what'd you get into last night?
So Nomadic Beer Works, the owners, Bryce and Daniel, they're from Michigan, and they had the Cowboys and Detroit Lions game on.
Oh yeah. They must have Amazon Prime TV.
They do. They did. And they also brewed a special beer called Woodward Lager.
Okay.
And boy, did it taste really good. It tasted so good, I had to try it like 7 or 8 times. And then they also had like Detroit style hot dogs, which is basically like a chili cheese. And I'm not doing it justice, but they had a chili cheese dog with mustard on it, and it hit the spot.
Yeah.
It's cold outside. I had beer in my belly and I needed some dogs in my belly. And me and the boys, we had a good night.
That's awesome.
It wasn't anything crazy, but man, it's just like once it hits your lips, you just can't stop.
Do you take your gear with you when you're just going to hang out with the crew?
No, absolutely not. That's my personal time. That's where we're going to connect. We're going to catch up because, the older I get, the harder it is to get friends together because they have their own lives, they have their families. So I'm not thinking, I would be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about work, but I'm just trying to get lost in conversations, talk some shit to the friends, and they, regurgitate it back. So it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, and from an outsider's perspective, and I think this applies to a lot of people that are in the creative industry, or at least so I work what people would call a 9-to-5 job, right? I report to an office every day. My office just so happens to be a construction site, but I report to an office every day.
You're keeping society together. You're doing the Lord's work, in my opinion.
I mean, that's, but as a creative, I mean, your inspiration could hit at any time, and your medium is a little different. You have to, it's very tangible, right? Like your ideas have to come out through either a camera or something, another medium, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can't necessarily just be written down and that's the art, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure you come up with all sorts of ideas while you're down in 7.
There's certainly conversations that I think about. I'm like, what if we turn that conversation into video?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was one conversation that I was having with some friends. We're talking about like what we learned in grade school. And the one thing that I learned in grade school was how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And so our fourth grade teacher, Miss Belcher, was like, all right, class, the assignment is you're going to instruct me on how to create a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And so we're like, okay, you take 2 pieces of bread, you take peanut butter, you take jelly, and you spread it on the bread. But what the concept was, you need to be very detailed as possible. So instead of like untying the bread, she just ripped it open. And instead of using like a knife to spread the peanut butter, she used her fingers. And so then we started like, okay, so now we need to like figure out the details. I'm like, okay, what if we take like, you know, a musician and do that concept just for video content ideas? I'm like, that'd be
interesting.
It'd be interesting. I don't think it would work, but I think I would get a good laugh out of it. And I think, you know, people in the room would somehow enjoy it. So we'll see what comes of that. But those are to your point, those are the type of conversations that I have. And I take an idea. I'm like, okay, what does that look like from a video standpoint? Or for content, for musicians, for me. But ultimately, it's just like, we're going to hang out, we're going to have a good time, and we're going to make fun of each other, just like I do with my friends. And that's kind of what I want to do next year. Just more stuff like that. See where it goes.
26 days left. In
I know.
Year,
yeah.
That's disrespectful. If I'm being honest.
It is. And it's not too long ago that I watched that unfortunate game with your Aggies. How do you feel about that?
We get 2 weeks off. We get to rest our running backs, which both of them were, you know, banged up there at the end of the year. Marcel got banged up the game, you know, so get some rest on his ankle. You know, what's an SEC championship but a banner, you know?
It was a tough loss. I was rooting for the Aggies. And it goes back to my college days, because when I went to school at Texas State, and when we would go party with our buddy in A&M, all the Aggies made us feel welcome. They're like, beers in the fridge, the kegs out back, have a good time. But when we would go to these tea sipper parties, it was more like, what are you guys doing here? Like, who invited you? It felt like we're going through airport security, even though we had brought our beer. I'm like, man, these guys sucks. I'd rather go party in A&M. But anyways,
well, thank you.
So ever since, and you know, I carry a grudge for an extended amount of years, but
because the dude would have let you into the frat party.
You know, it's those little things. It's like, you know, people don't like the Cowboys because of their fans, and I kind of feel that same way about you. Anyways.
It is what it is, man. But you know, my sister went to UT, and so we got the whole family rivalry going on, and
that's those are some beautiful
man. It's
family
so
memories.
fun. You know, the last game before last year that we played each other, she was a freshman, I was a junior at A&M, and we did a big family Thanksgiving in College Station, and all the roommates' families got together, and I was like, God, like this is what this thing's about. Like, we're playing ball at the end of the day, but we're hanging out with family. We're doing this whole tradition thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad it's back.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
Okay, good.
So where are you from?
I am from, so I grew up in I was born and raised in Southern California, Riverside, California.
All right.
And I lived there we lived there, my parents and I lived there for the first 12 years of my life. And it got to a point where my parents wanted to get out of California. My brother and sister are much older than me. They had their careers. Brother's an electrician. Sister's a first grade teacher. But at the time we left, I think she was in kindergarten.
We're talking about making the world go around.
Yeah.
Your siblings are making the world go around.
I know. And here I am, the video photographer of the family. Try explaining that to the parents. And eventually he just said, yeah, as long as you're happy, as long as you're able to, you know, save some money, take care of yourself, then I guess that's all we can ask for. But it was a bit, they were concerned when I picked my career. But growing up in California, I really didn't know what I had until we moved to West Texas, a place called Alpine. So that's where I like to claim I grew up, actually, because I met friends there. I learned about sports. I played sports. I learned about music. And that small area kind of breeds creativity, because there's no music venues out there. There's really nothing but the desert and the environment to kind of, you know, make up your own fun. And so you were either going to play sports, work at a ranch, do drugs, get drunk, or knock up your girlfriend. And there's very limited options out there. And I chose to play sports, and that sort of led me to meeting one of my buddies, Gil. Gil was a musician, and he played sports as well, but he was more involved with music than I was. And it was until my senior year that he was like, "Hey, I need you to play drums." And I go, "Gil, I don't know how to play drums." He's like, "Don't worry about it. Our drummer keeps getting in trouble. He's in jail right now, so we need somebody to fill in." And it was just a simple instrument that I could play, and I was reliable. I showed up to when they wanted to practice.
Half the battle, man.
Yeah, I know. Half the battle is showing up, and that led me to meeting some more creatives in that small town, some really great musicians that we looked up to, because we didn't have, we were 4 hours away from El Paso, 2.5 hours from Midland. So like going to their shows was all not similar, but in the same vein as like going to Antone's, because that's where we could see quality musicianship.
That was your local
ish
venue. Yeah.
And one of my favorite memories was getting to play the Railroad Blues at like the age of 18. And I had the big X's on my on my palms, not palms, the top of my hands. And then after the show, we did sangria shots, which, I don't think you're supposed to do that at 18. But anyways, I felt like a rock star, man.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to do this forever. And then on top of that, we got paid $100. I'm like, this is it. This is my life now. I am a rock star. This is all I care about.
100 bucks in the wallet, a little sangria in the belly.
And growing, I wish, the only thing that I regret is not going and indulging in Big Bend, because we were so close to it. Yeah. Big Bend National Park. We're like 90 miles away.
Gosh.
And I think I could count on, maybe 5 times that we went there during my high school years there. And I just wish I, had more fun out there, but that's the only regret. Other than that, it was great.
And so did you stick with drums through college? And
I tried to, but it's kind of a nuisance when you're playing in an apartment, people get annoyed.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So I picked up a guitar and just kind of dinked around that a little bit. And that kept me, I guess it fulfilled my musical capabilities, and it was fun to play. And then,
And so what brought you to Austin? You said you went to Texas State.
Yes. But... So I went to Texas State to try to get into the photography major, but you had to do a lot of bullshit pre-rec classes like basic drawing, 3D sculpting, and just stuff that I wasn't into. And, some of those classes were at 8 a.m. in the morning, and being the responsible college student, I indulged in the festivities at night, and I'd never really made those.
San Marcos is an easy city to indulge in the night festivities.
It is. I think during that time we were just going to house parties, but then, once I turned 21, we were able to go to this place called Treff's, and they did $2 you call it. So anything you want for $2, and on a Tuesday night.
College bar scenes are undefeated. It's like
I don't know how I made it out of there. Like I barely graduated, but at the same time, I'm like, what was I thinking? Dear God, thank you, Mom and Dad, for not asking me how my grades were doing.
Yeah,
because I was D for diplomas. But because of I didn't want to disappoint them, I actually straightened up, got decent grades to get a degree in electronic mass communication, which led me to filming weddings here in Austin. So graduated, and I was looking for jobs in the I guess news industry, if you will, because that was the RTF program at the time. We were developing stories for news, broadcast, editing for news, and they told me if you want to get a job in this field, you'd have to go to a smaller market. And I'm like, I really don't want to go to Midland. I don't want to go to a small town. I want to go to Austin. And through a Facebook post, one of my buddies asked for an intern to just film and edit weddings. And I responded to that, and that got me to Austin. And I worked my way up through that small company. And that's how I kind of got into my career, just filming weddings.
Nice. Yeah. All right. And so at what point did you decide to start Resolute?
That would have been, I formed the LLC, I think in 2018, when I got a full-time job at this company called Silencer Shop. So Silencer Shop is a distributor for silencers for firearms, silencers and suppressors. And they needed a full-time video guy because that is a very regulated industry, and they were utilizing social media a lot. They were utilizing their YouTube page to just inform customers on, hey, this is the sound signature of a suppressor. This is what it sounds like actually, and developing all that content. And
cool.
The firearms industry is very lucrative, especially, and it is COVID proof. It is recession proof. I've never seen bigger bonus checks than during that time. I'm like, oh my God. So it was around 2018 that I formed the LLC just because I had some extra cash in my pocket. I wanted at some point during that time, I was like, I'll start my own company and do side projects and do it properly. And then 2020 hit, we were sent home and we were able to work from home. It was great. And then 2021 came around, and the company was trying to essentially become like the TurboTax of processing these NFA
applications.
Yeah. So ATF does it a really old school way in that you have to submit paperwork for all of these items. Silencer Shop created a business around a process to submit all those paperwork, but now they wanted to take it to the online world. They wanted to revolutionize it.
I mean, that's genius.
It is. 100%. But at the time, we were doing a lot of creative stuff. That was fun. We created like a show called Awkward Silence, where these two guys were just so funny. So it wasn't just about silencers. They were talking about movies. They were just regular guys talking about cool shit.
Was it like a podcast?
It was almost like a podcast, but it was like a live streaming thing.
Yeah.
Every other Friday we were doing that, and we were developing a following, and it wasn't growing fast enough for my boss. So we canceled that. We canceled a lot of the cool videos that I like doing, like going to Surefire and doing a, how it's made type video. There wasn't any more of that. And we got called back to the office. And I mean, the office it was probably half the size of the room that we're in now, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And I just like, I can't get along this way. I can't get along with my boss. I don't like the direction this is going. So I pieced out. But before I did that, I was complaining a lot to my wife, and she was like, you should just start your own thing. I support you. I believe in you. And that gave me the most emotional energy. I was like, all right, let me run through this fucking brick wall for you, babe. But
that's awesome.
Because of her and having that safety blanket, I'm like, all right, it's time for me to leave. And so that's when, so I'd say, we started Resolute Media full time in 2021, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you a firearms guy?
After my 3 year, I didn't buy a firearm at all during that time when I was at Silencer Shop, because I was building out my camera gear. Like I was buying lenses.
Yeah.
I just had
it's one or the other.
Exactly. I didn't care about firearms because they were all there at our disposal. Like we'd go to the gun range and we can fire whatever.
Yeah, you get out of your system that way.
Yeah. And then, so I was, building out my gear list. And then now in 2025, I bought my first firearm, a Glock. And it's all because of one of our friends, Chris Espy. He was like, hey, you guys want to go to the gun range? We're like, yeah, sure. I haven't been in years. And it was just fun to, hang around him. He's a former Army Ranger, and he makes good money, so he has a lot of cool toys to play with.
And knows how to play with
exactly. Them. Yeah. So he was able to give me instruction. I'm like, all right, well, how much is a Glock? Oh shit, $600. Well,
it's fun when you're in those environments because it's comfortable. It's it's you're with a professional. It's not hard to be safe. Like it truly is using common sense and not doing things that, I don't know. I'll leave it at that, And so it becomes fun at that point.
It does. For me, it was a way for me to kind of just slow down using a very deadly weapon, because I mean, there's times.
Slow down. That's a good way to put it. You're not. Your brain's not like, I have this like.
I'm cognizant of where my muzzle is.
Bomb in my hand. It's like, no. It's like, all right. I'm just gonna know what I'm doing with it.
If a gun malfunctions, you take your time. You try to diagnose a problem, and then you fix it, and then you're back at it. So that's So 2025 was the first time I ever owned a firearm. And hopefully next year, I'm in talks with a firearms company to do some content work for them.
Nice.
I met one of the former employees at Silencer Shop. He kind of went off to another company. He was a good dude. He was on that Awkward Silence show, and he's super fun to be around. He's funny. He was also I think I'm gonna call it MARSOC, a Special Operations for
Marines.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's super smart, and he's a CEO of whatever company that he's working at now. I can't tell you because then I'd have to,
That's all right. That's all right.
But yeah, so hopefully we'll be working with him. But it's fun to go out to the range and just fire off a few rounds.
So you started Resolute out of that venture, and so. I mean, you're all over the map, man. Weddings, sporting events. Mm-hmm. Where we met was at Grayson's backyard. So obviously you're heavily involved in the music scene.
Yep.
So, what does Resolute stand by? What is the bread and butter? What do you want to do with the company?
Make good money doing cool shit.
Hell yeah.
That's the dream, anyways. And
podcast over. Let's just go hang out, man.
No, I think the goal is just to provide a service that it's reputable. We're gonna have a good working relationship, and you can call me any time and day to fulfill your video and photo needs at a fair market rate. I just want to be able to live the life that I want to live, doing the thing that I want to do. And every job is unique and fun in its own way. I even at the most non-eventful job, I'm just thinking like I'm my own boss and I'm making money doing something I love with a camera in my hands. And that should be, I don't know, that's something to be proud of. But then in the back of my head, I'm always like, it's not enough. What's the next thing that we can get?
Yeah.
There's always this pursuit for more, not necessarily more money, but I don't know, more interaction, more activity, more fun things, more industries to learn about.
Yeah.
Because even some of the engineering companies, you're learning how roads are structured for cities. You're learning the ins and outs of what it means to be a society through that, that craft, and that's beneficial to me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I started my own podcast, is because I wanted to elevate those interesting people that I was talking to and put them on some sort of a platform. It may not be the most popular one. And at the end of the day, maybe, their kids or grandkids can hear them talk. Yeah. There's it's archived forever.
If you're doing anything, you're archiving, and it's important to somebody somewhere, and you're having fun with it.
Exactly.
The hell doesn't matter how popular it is.
And that was kind of the concept, because there's just a lot of dumb shit on the internet that I'm like, why am I watching this? This doesn't support my life. I get it. There's some entertainment factor to it, but what if we switch that into elevating these people who are truly important to society? And,
the name of your podcast, Pints and Professionals.
Pints and Professionals, yeah.
So when did you start that?
That was in 2021 when, because I was so bitter about, Awkward Silence being canceled. I wanted to create something for my own. And I love the concept of how the breweries worked through the pandemic. They were helping out each other, specifically Nomadic Beer Works. Mm-hmm. They were, giving empty cans to breweries that were running out, and they were trying to be supportive in their community. And I just love that aspect. And I thought, what if we did a podcast out of a brewery? I'm sure other people have done that before, but Bryce and Daniel are just so open and welcoming to the idea. They're like, yeah, just do it at 11 a.m. on Tuesday. And so I did like 4 episodes, but turns out when you start your own business, you can't you can open up a business credit card and max it out, but you have to eventually pay that credit card off.
Yeah.
So it just got too expensive and the logistics weren't working out in my favor. So I had to stop it after that. And focus on generating revenue for the business. And
that's completely fair. It's the world we live in.
Yep. And again, I can't thank Bryce and Daniel enough for opening up the brewery to me. And they are great. They opened up another spot called Nomadic Outpost, which
awesome. I love that place.
Yeah. You can let your kids run around while having a good beer. Mm-hmm. And it's a great spot. They're doing live music there as well as at the brewery location. Yep. So they're doing great things.
Yeah, we went. All of our friend group is boiled down to just people with kids, and so
it's the trend, isn't it?
It's nice to go to places like that because you got your music, you got your beer, you got your coffee. Kids can go play. It's just nice.
So that's cool. Yeah, cool it's spot. Awesome. that's another thing. Like whenever my buddies with kids want to go out, I'm just like, let's go to Nomadic Outpost. Let's go to Meanwhile. Meanwhile's another good
great.
place.
Yep.
So yeah.
So, I mean, you really have, I was looking through Pints and Professionals. I mean, you really have covered so many industries. Like you talked on the City of Austin traffic control engineer,
Robin,
you know, obviously musicians,
yeah.
I think nurses, attorneys, teachers, venue owners. And so, you know, I don't know if there's an industry you haven't covered from what I saw there, but I mean, is there anything that you've taken away from those conversations that you carry with you every day? You know, is there one thing that sticks out in your mind when you wake up in the morning?
Yeah. It's the, mostly it's come from the musicians and specifically Keith Sanders of Brother Thunder and Nancy Copeland. So Keith was the guy who was in these podcasts. I just kind of want to get a general understanding of the economics of the business, how it functions.
I see.
And with musicians, there's just different variables there. But one thing I took away from Keith's podcast is like, he was telling me a story of how much he should charge to perform at a venue. And he was telling me of this story of when he was talking to an old head, as he called him. And the old head told Keith, like, if you're not getting $100 a man per the performance, then you need to walk away from that job because it's not worth your time. And so for whatever reason in my head, I'm like, okay, that's a price point that I can go by and structure my own business. So average band members in a band here in Austin, 4, right? Guitarist, bassist, lead guitarist, and a drummer. And so if they're making, let's say they're making $400, which might not be the case for every show, but if I can charge $300 to cover their show, to get them good content, get them good photos within their 45-minute to an hour performance, then I feel okay in charging them that price because everyone's taking money from musicians. Studios, you need to get studio time to, write the songs. You need to, pay your band members, whatever. Everyone's taking money from these musicians. And yes, I'm going to take money from them, but I also want to provide a product that is just going to be, that's going to last them a long time. And it's going to be of good quality. And I don't want to take money from these musicians, but I feel like I have to, because otherwise you don't feel the value enough if it's for free. Like if you pay for something, then there's more, you're going to take care of it more, right?
And there's an expectation there.
Exactly. So the goal of Resolute Media is to, build out the corporate stuff to where like we can keep the prices the same for artists and creatives. So that way, we're helping each other out. But that conversation with Keith just implemented in my head. I'm like, okay, this justifies the cost. I feel good about this. And so after that, I created like my package list and I sent it to Nico Little, the first guy. And then the second guy was Vincent Antone, who's friends with Zach Morgan. Vincent Antone's a DJ producer and he tours around the US. And I'm like, hey man, what do you think of these packages? And he goes, I see nothing wrong with what the price is and the deliverables. That's solid, that's a solid package list you have, Ramon. I'm like, okay, so I'm further justified in these costs and I don't feel bad. So yeah. The other one was a conversation with Nancy Copeland and how she said how she books, bands and musicians for the Christmas Bazaar and other events. And they're looking at, unfortunately, they're looking at Spotify playlists. They're looking at their social media game. And so, okay, that kind of led me to believe that what I'm doing is okay for the music industry here in Austin.
I see.
So those were the two conversations that had the most impact for me.
No, just validation.
Yes, exactly. Because I think as a creative, you're always looking for validation amongst yourself.
Yes.
Because you're constantly questioning yourself. I mean, probably even in your job, you're constantly questioning, like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Every day, man.
Exactly.
Every day.
So just to have those little points in time where you're like, okay, I don't feel like a piece of shit. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. It's just, it elevates you to a more happier level in what you're doing.
And, most people who go into business, want to be fair and honest.
Yeah.
That it's a balance between being fair and honest and taking care of your needs as a business owner and what you need to to survive. And, I talk to musicians a lot about the musicians that I've had on the show, just about, there's so much to the business side of music, and to your point, so much working against the actual musicians. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so for you to say, look, this is what I have to do, and I have this backup, I understand that, man.
Yeah.
Like I feel that. And there's been times where I feel bad about asking musicians to come on this show, because I'm not in a position to where I can pay people at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out ways to change that. Obviously, I don't want this show to be like, oh, come spread your word. I don't have that kind of following yet. So it's that whole thing.
I think the contrary to that, when you first reached out to me to do this podcast, there was, again, that point of validation, like someone's listening, someone cares. So I think when musicians get invited to this type of platform just to have conversations, I think it makes them feel important. And that's like, I don't know, that elevates their energy, that, makes them feel good about themselves, that there's at least one person that cares about what I'm doing.
You know what else? Validation. And you probably don't, you don't have this because you're not on Spotify, but I'm saying your medium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent this to my family because I thought it was awesome. I'm the number one listener for 30 people. And I was like, holy shit, there's 30 people out there that listen to my show the most.
Put 30 people in a room.
Are you kidding me?
That's a lot of people.
And I just felt I was like, okay, let's keep rolling, baby. Even if it was one, hell, my mom, whatever, I don't care. Let's go. Yeah. So I completely understand that. So on your creative process, so are you a rigid guy? I filmed, I got my content, I'm sitting down, I'm lighting this candle, I'm closing this door, I'm opening this window. Are you a trial and error guy?
Definitely trial and error guy. There's really no set recipe to how to film something. You're walking into a room, you're dealing with all logistics that could accompany an event, or let's say a music show.
Yeah.
Like the moment I walk into a room, I have to put on that business facade, and it's like, fuck, man, I really don't want to go talk to the sound guy because he might have a different temperament than I have. So I put on my salesy, high pitched voice. Hey man, how's it going, dude? I'm so sorry to do this to you, but do you mind if I know you're busy right now. After you're done taking care of the band, would you mind giving me an XLR line out?
Yeah.
And typically they'll grumble at me like, yeah, whatever. And then and they'll give me the line.
The sound guy hate is strong for no reason.
I kind of get it, but maybe someone's never told them like, hey, you're doing a good service, and I know you're probably getting shit on from the band, or I don't know what causes them to be so abrasive, but I just try to go in there with the most salesy type voice and try to, lather them up just so I can get a clean line. And then I have to worry about camera position. And then is the crowd going to be involved? Do I need to put the camera in the back so we can see a little of the crowd? Or if there's not going to be a crowd, do I push it to the front? But what if someone knocks it over?
Yeah.
So there's all these logistical things that you kind of have to figure out on the spot. And I will say with my experience, I've kind of figured it out, but every shoot that I go on, it's something new that I have to deal with. So it's just, you have to go with the flow and you can't take things personal. I know in the earlier, like when I first started doing this, like I wanted everything to be buttoned up. I wanted to, have control of every situation, but that just caused more stress. And I realized, I can't.
You got to roll with it.
Exactly. So, and the event, like the live music stuff, it is what it is. Like whatever happens on stage, I'm just there to capture it. So there's not a lot of creative stuff that is involved from the production standpoint. From the post-production standpoint, it's just what's the most engaging shot that I can cut to that's going to help the song perform better for Instagram. And now it's just gotten to a point where I film the entire set with 2 cameras, and it's a lot easier to just edit a full song as opposed to picking out specific clips of the song to deliver to the artist. So
I see.
I just changed that business model as I figured out, like, because in post-production, I have to sync up every little clip, and those clips are 10 to 15 seconds long. Sometimes my editing software doesn't do it automatically. So I have to, line up 30 different clips. And I'm like, that's not conducive to my time for the rate that I'm charging. So if I just film everything in its entirety, that's a lot easier on the back end for me. But it's also eating up a lot of hard drive space.
Mm-hmm.
Hard drive space is not cheap. But because it's cut my work time in half as far as editing goes, then that's I can justify filming an entire song for the band.
Yeah.
If all of that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Okay.
It does.
So I'm not rigid whatsoever when it comes to working with musicians or even, people in the corporate world.
So is it an instance where every time you go to a show, you feel like you're going to watch live music, or do you feel like you're about to go to work?
Go to work. I'm getting in my car. Well, first off, I'm getting in my car thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I going to this show? I'm really going to make money. This is my career. And then I'm like, okay, well, there's certain process we need to do to make sure the job gets done right, making sure there's quality audio, making sure the camera's not obstructed. So I'm thinking about all those logistics, and that's work mode. And it's almost like it's a grind.
Mm-hmm.
But then once those are dialed in and I don't have to worry about them anymore, then it's like, yeah, this is the best job in the world. I get to watch live music, and I get to make some money off of it, and I get to deliver the content to the musician. And this is the coolest job in the world right now. So it's a little bit of, man, this is a job in the beginning, and then I get to enjoy it as the show goes on.
I think at the end of the day, it's because you care. That's where that's coming from, in my opinion.
Thank you.
You care about what you're doing. You care about making sure that the artist or wedding or whatever it is that you're doing is getting the 100% the best product that you can present. And there's going to be stress in that, because if you didn't care, you would hit record and go take a bunch of shots and hang out at the bar.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's just how it is, man. And, and the same thing goes for anything in life. And it's the same thing with this show. It's like, I care.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my time and effort and energy and resources to it. And I feel that, man. And so, I mean, do you feel like you have to find motivation to do things, or is it just like I'm loving what I'm doing? Yeah, it's a grind, but I don't need to find motivation. I'm here. I'm in it. I'm motivated.
I think the motivation always, well, I don't know. That's a good question. I would say I'm motivated by the drive of the musicians, and the craft and care that they put into their product and their performance. So I want to, reflect that through my work. Also, I'm getting older, and kids these days have more access to cameras, and anybody, even, the cell phones, they're producing good quality.
Yeah.
So my motivation is to try to beat that competition.
Stay ahead.
Stay I wouldn't be here if I wasn't in some form or fashion competitive.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to take the L and just go home and sit in front of my computer and cry and be like, why the hell did I film that shot like that? Why did I pop that photo like that? That's just dumb, Ramon. And then that motivates me to take it to the next show and be like, okay, whatever you did last time, don't do that mistake again. Learn from it, and you'll be fine.
Mistakes suck.
Hey, they do. Yeah.
God, they suck so much, but I love them because you learn, man. Shit.
You do learn. And I think in regards to what you're doing in your career, like, your mistakes are much bigger than any of my mistakes I'll ever make, in my opinion. So that kind of keeps me centered of like, what I'm doing is not that important. No one's going to die because I miss a shot. Whereas, people like you, or let's say my wife, who's a wound care nurse, if she makes a mistake, then that mistake gets elevated to the lawyers and, all that other stuff. And she'll get a stern talking to
That's
from
good
HR.
Context.
So that keeps me like, okay, Ramon, yeah, you made a mistake, but no one's going to die because of it. So that keeps me level headed and keeps me motivated too. Like, it's okay to make mistakes.
So going back to Pints and Professionals,
yes.
Kind of got off on tangents.
No,
there.
that's fine.
It's all good. So you're in your garage now, and I mean, I like that. I like that you're in your garage. I like that you're just hanging on your couch. I like, I listened to your episode with Susanna Chaffel. And,
yeah, she's awesome.
And I love how you hit record and just like the whole, it was just so natural. Like, she came in, she's like, "Hey, sorry, I'm late."
Yeah.
Like, total
She partied too hard the night before.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. She partied, she went out.
Yeah.
She's talking about how, she's at a show or whatever. And, it's just it's a human side of things, it's not super overproduced.
I don't want it to be over. Like, my favorite podcast is Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, the comedians.
Yeah.
Matt McCusker and Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
And they're just two bros talking on a couch, talking shit to each other. And they built a fucking empire doing that and being authentically themselves.
Right.
So much so that they can say some controversial jokes, get banned from SNL, and still come back to be one of the greatest podcasts ever, because the fans knew that what they were talking about that got them banned from SNL was just taken out of context. Mm-hmm. But because they built up that, that audience and they did it through authenticity, I'm like, that's what it should be.
Yes.
And that's kind of going back to when I first started. I thought it was going to be overly produced. I would get the numbers, I would get the viewership, and that wasn't the case. So now just about, documenting whatever conversations we have with whoever I have it with, who I find interesting and important to society or that industry. So yeah, it's very bare bones, but it's also part of the workflow. Like, if I have 3 cameras and I can utilize that, but I think that would just take the fun out of it, and I wouldn't ever do it. I wouldn't have the time to do it.
Yeah. Well, and so how do you make sure that show doesn't interfere with your personal and professional life? And I'm really interested to hear this, because it's tough.
It is. That's a good question. I try to I hate to say it's a balance between feeling and I have to. I want Resolute Media to get the numbers, and the only way I'm going to do that is to put in the work. But then I also don't want my paid work, the corporate client work that's coming into the, the musicians that are giving me the money. I don't want that to be a sacrifice. So if I have busy months, like this month, I haven't booked a podcast in a long time because I've been so busy.
Yeah.
So hopefully in January I can take some time to, schedule more podcasts, but it's just, it's a balance, and it's a feel thing, and it's a gut thing. And I also need to put more time into the research of the individual, because I found myself I felt like Susanna Chaffel's podcast was really good because I put in the research. I looked up her background,
right?
Instead of just blindly ask her, hey, where are you from? All this stuff.
Yeah.
It just produced a better episode, and I'm more comfortable that way. Same with Nancy Copeland, but she threw me, a curveball when she told me she was there when the tower shooting happened. I'm like, oh, okay. And I just fumbled it, and somehow I kind of blacked out at that moment. I'm like, this is an interesting topic, and especially now in 2025.
Yes.
But it's just, it's to balance the podcast with my career. It's just a feel thing. I know the podcast that I'm not losing money on it. I'm only gaining an investment off it. So even if I do take a month off, I can pick right back up again whenever I feel like it.
Well, that's the beauty of doing that, and not making it your entire career. You know?
It's just fun, and when I want to have fun, I'll schedule something.
So, what's the end goal with the show?
The end goal is to build it big enough to where we can generate some revenue from it, and maybe start selling sponsorships to small businesses in town. I would love to be able to, promote businesses that I care about. Nomadic Beer Works. The Local is a good restaurant right around the corner from me that serves amazing cocktails. And I know the bartender there and the hostess. And so, there's a community there that I care about. And just to help promote some of these smaller businesses, that would be the end goal. And it is self-promotion for my business for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's marketing for me.
Yeah.
So the more I grow that, the hopefully more business will come. It's kind of like the underpants gnomes from, South Park. It's like steal underpants, profit.
That's funny, man.
Where the middle thing is, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along. But yeah, that would be the nice goal to have.
So when you're not working or doing a show, doing your podcast, where are you hanging out? Where are you watching live music?
I'm hanging out. Well, lately, because the weather's been so cold, I typically go to Roy Kaiser. Jimmy Clay plays some golf there. I love golf.
All right.
So much so that
Me too.
I'm eating beans and rice because, I golf is expensive. And so I have to take money from my budget and devote it to the golfing game.
Yeah, and that's, it's like water and a driver.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. My driver got broke.
On
my last trip.
Who broke it?
Southwest Airlines.
Oh, okay. I thought it was self-inflicted, over your knee. No. Okay, that sucks, man.
Yeah. Anyways.
As far as live music goes, I mean, Seaboys, Continental Club. Well, Seaboys typically has like free shows throughout the week.
Yeah.
I think Jennifer Foster has a residency right now that I've been meaning to go to, but I haven't been able to. So hopefully that can happen next Monday because that's when she plays. And yeah, they don't put bad music in those.
No, they do not. Seaboys is my favorite venue in town.
What's another venue that I like going to? I mean, Antone's, of course, all the staples.
Yeah.
Hole in the Wall. It's a little bit far for me, but that's a good spot to go.
It is.
Watch music. Last time I was there, I saw this band called The Letdown with Evan Charles. He's another musician here in town. And he's been around Austin for a long period of time. He's my age, but he's developed so many different bands. And The Letdown is probably my favorite project out of him. And so that and breweries and wherever we can go grab cheap drinks and catch up with friends is where I'm at.
I feel that, man. Yeah. And when I was looking through your website, your homepage for your website, and I know I told you this, but it is a snapshot of live music in Austin, Texas in 2025. You've got Uncle Laser.
Yeah.
You've got Nico on stage at Seaboys. You've got Grayson in the crowd. You've got the Texas Rebels boys in the crowd. And it's just like, it's blues music in 2025 in Austin, Texas.
And I hate you for pointing that out because before you reached out to me, I was like, I need to redevelop this website. And when I took that photo, it was the back of Nico's head, and I thought it was cool because it was a packed venue. I didn't even think to look of the individuals who were in the picture until you pointed that out. I'm like, oh shit, he's right. Grayson's there, Jacob West is there, and Uncle Laser's off to the side of the stage. I'm like, well, now I can't change it. Thanks, Steven.
Well, I mean, listen, man, for me, the public aren't going to know right?
Right. Yeah.
And they see a cool shot
I know.
at a cool bar in Austin. And so, but for a guy who loves the music scene here in town and it was just a cool shot.
You put that sentiment into what you just said, and I'm like, well, shit, now it means something to someone that I know, and now I can't change it.
Change it, man. No. Hell, now Nico's got a new band member who's on fire. I saw he was playing with Gary.
Yep.
At Green Hall. Man, have you had a conversation with him?
I want to so bad. It's going to happen. So he's on the list of people I need to reach out to. He's very quiet.
He's a very quiet guy, man. Nico brought him over and we did a podcast.
If you don't mind, where did you guys set up for that?
Right here in the center.
Okay. So
yeah, we just centered.
Did you have 3 mics or just 2?
Yeah, I've got enough to do. I did when I had LSD on. I brought in an additional board and had to do some stuff. But anyways, yeah. So, but man, the guy knows ball, and he's 20 years younger than me. And it doesn't mean anything, but my point is he knows ball and loves music, loves the guitar, knows the guitar in and out. He brought his custom Strat that he had. And it was funny because I wasn't like talking shit, but I was I was like, yeah, I'm not a big Relic guy. And he had this guitar in the case, and he busts out this like super Relic custom Strat, and I was like, I take it all back. This thing is beautiful, and he let me play it, and it just played so well, and I was just like, all right, yeah, man.
The most impressive thing about him was they were recording something at Studio 601, and I was there just capturing photos, and I don't know. I asked him some question about why he doesn't like this particular song. And then he listed off a historical reference of why he didn't like it, because the artist didn't pay homage properly to the original artist. He was going back to the Delta Blues era and all the musicians that came out of that. And he just spit it out just like that. And here I am at 38. I'm like, I have a camera, and that's cool. I don't know who made it, man. I don't know the history of this, but oh my God, the fact that you have all that knowledge and you're so talented. And you're so young. Like, what are we about to watch?
Yeah,
like,
and that's what's exciting. And by the way, we're talking about Reese. I don't know if we've said his name yet.
No, we have not.
The thing about it is just that. It's like, what are we about to witness that's so exciting that, Gary was the last. I mean, there's a lot of phenomenal bands and musicians, and I am not underplaying, but for a while Stevie was the Austin representative, and Jimmy still is an Austin representative. And there's a lot of, and I'm specifically talking about blues music. There's a lot of big names that are out there. Gary right now is arguably the top blues musician that has come out of Austin, Texas in the past decade, right? So it's like, all right, here's this 17-year-old from the UK who knows more about Austin, Texas than anybody in Austin, Texas, and not just about the city, but about this. You just touched on it, about the music that established the city and the people that created it. And it's just, he's a wealth of knowledge at such a young age. And not only that, he's so talented. It's going to be awesome to see what he does.
And artists like that just inspire me to learn more about my craft. Like, if he can devote all this time to, playing music and learning about the history, so can I. And it just, I think it just enriches individuals like that if they know about the history of their art, which, I mean, I can name a few famous photographers in the past that I looked up to, but that's it. I can name them and that's it. And this guy can spout out like what album they played on, who they worked with. And it's just, it's pretty phenomenal. That kid is a genius. And Nico's pretty cool too.
Yeah. Let's not forget our boy Nico, man. That dude can shred some guitar too, man.
That's the thing. Like, you put Reese against anybody and he'll just not I don't know if minimize is the right word, but he'll definitely be the bright shining light on stage. But that's not to diminish like the talent of Nico Little and whoever else he's playing.
Well, and there's a reason why Nico is extremely comfortable standing next to him on stage, because Nico is just as talented.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not forget that. So who else do you work with in town? I mean, obviously we met and I see your involvement with Grayson and Nico a lot, and obviously they're salts of the earth dudes and just awesome people in general. I saw a lot of Zach Morgan, Katrina Kane, Dusty Miller,
I got a story about Dusty. So one of the like when I go into a show, it's getting that quality sound from the board. I was really excited to work with Dusty, and he hired me to film his show at Still Austin. And whatever reason, when I checked the audio, it all sounds good. But then something happened during the show. And it was just, the audio was very vocal forward. And I get back home, I assemble it all together, and I'm listening to the audio. I'm like, it's not bad, but it's not what I need to deliver.
Yep.
And so I'm like, well, we'll see what he says. I send over the edited stuff, and he said the same thing. He's like, it's really, the audio's not there. I'm like, yeah, man, I know. Just don't worry about paying me. Take whatever you can. Take the content. Take the photos. Photos were fine, but it's just the video content. And so I was like, dude, don't worry about paying me. Catch me on the next one. You use whatever you can for this content. And he was like, we'll work something out. So he ended up sending me like $150, which is half of the fee that we agreed to. And I felt bad for taking it, but he's like, don't worry about it. You put in a lot of effort. It's fine. But that's one of the things that I now stress about is like, if the audio engineer doesn't do his job or something happens, it's not my fault, but it is my problem. And so like, I have to eat that cost, and I feel bad for the artist because they're expecting a quality product. And I'm like, yeah, man, the audio's not there. Sorry. So that was my story with Dusty. And I think we're fine. Hopefully they'll hire me again. But that's just one of the things that I have to work with.
You took a lesson learned forward.
Yeah, exactly. Lesson learned. And it's now like always in the back of my head, like, all right, is audio engineer going to give me a good line? I mean, I know nothing about that audio board. I'm putting all of my trust into them.
Yeah.
And so
who else in town have you worked with?
I mean,
Dan.
Yes, Dan's very cool. Love him.
Radlin.
Who have I worked with recently? I should know this. Wild Wren is another like alt rock band. They're really good. They played at Sahara Lounge, and that's another good spot to go.
Dude,
check
that's
out
my
live
second
music.
favorite venue. I like the first 10 episodes of the show, I did nothing but talk about how much I love Sahara Lounge because it's just an awesome venue.
It's a great spot. Yeah,
anything that has Christmas lights above the bar or above the stage, actually, I'm about. It's
a divey little place, and you're gonna have a good time. Cheap drinks, good entertainment,
good people.
Yeah, I mean, I work with anybody and everybody as long as we're homogenous in the what we're going to deliver as far as content. Then that's all I really care about.
Any groups in town you have your eyes on?
Rickshaw Billy's Burger Patrol. They are the one band that I would love to work with, but I know it's pretty slim chance that I'll ever get to work with them just because they have their own, video and photo guys. But man, do they put on a hell of a show. It's exciting. And I think I would like to work with more metal bands. There's a different energy there. They shred and they're headbanging, and I love the singer-songwriters that I work with, but that's the type of energy that I just want to have in my portfolio and capture, and it'll be fun to be a part of.
I haven't been to a metal show in a long time, but you're right.
Lost Well was I forgot what bands we saw there, but my wife she loves metal music. We're actually going to both Sick New World tours, one in Vegas and then the one in Dallas.
What about punk rock?
Punk rock, I haven't really explored the punk rock scene here. I guess I should get into that.
Man, I really want to see Despits.
They were just at Central Machine Works.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
Oh my God. They packed out that house. And by the way, I'd never seen Central Machine Works like that, or I haven't seen it since they renovated it to be more.
It's pretty amazing.
It looked from the photos that I saw. Yeah. It's like, of course, that makes total sense.
Yeah. I've been to a punk show or a metal show in a long time, and those are fun. You're right.
Yep.
You're exactly right. It's a different type of energy.
It's different people. And some of the most menacing looking people you'll ever see, but some of the kindest, sweetest individuals that will, have your back, will pick you up if you're in the mosh pit and you fall down.
Yeah.
I would like to explore different genres of music.
Dude, honestly, one of my favorite bands is Slipknot, and one of my favorite guitarists are both of their guitarists are some of my favorite guitarists. Mick Thompson and oh goodness gracious, what a real fan, Jim Root.
Okay. They played at Sick New World last year when we went, and boy, was it a hoot. They know how to.
Well, and their messaging is one thing, but from the musicality, man, I don't know. I just love their music, and I find it gets my ear. Whatever.
Yeah, the cherry on top of that, last year's or 2 years ago, Sick New World was it was Slipknot. Then immediately afterwards, right next to the left stage, was System of a Down.
Oh my God!
And so my wife is she's a big fan of System of a Down. I love them too, but not as much as she does. And it was worth every penny that we paid. It was worth the 2.5 hour walk back to our hotel because we didn't stay on the strip. That was a nightmare to get out of.
Oh, I bet.
And then we also saw System of a Down again this year at MetLife Stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
And have you ever been to MetLife Stadium?
No.
don't ever go. It is the worst
I wasn't planning on it
because it's in New Jersey. It's out in the Meadowlands. There's one road in, one road out.
Mm-hmm.
And with a sold out show with System of a Down and Korn opening up for them, it was just hellish to get out of there. We couldn't catch the train because that was backed up. All the Ubers were priced at like $120.
Mm-hmm.
So we waited about 30 minutes and finally I found a guy. He was like an Uber driver that was just like walking around with his cell phone with Uber on it. And I go, okay, it's going to cost us, looks like $90 to get the hotel. I'll give you $70. And he goes, $80. I go, I'm firm at 70. He goes, okay, let's go. So I spent $70, which would have been like a $15 Uber ride back to our hotel.
God.
But we were out of there and that's all I cared about.
Yeah. Well,
the show is amazing.
I bet, man. That's I've never seen I've never seen Slipknot live, but I feel like those would be awesome shows.
Oh, they're fantastic.
At this point, I think I'd probably watch it from the stands and not be in the pit.
For sure. That's how we are.
I mean, I don't know. You were probably a Warped Tour guy growing up.
You forget I grew up in Alpine, Texas.
You're West Texas.
So
I mean,
we didn't have the opportunity.
San Antonio is a huge punk and metal scene.
It really is, yeah.
Huge. And so, you know, in high school, that was the thing. You know, there was a big venue called the White Rabbit, and my band, and we'd go play.
Saw Reverend Horton Heat there when we were in college at Texas State. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. And so those were always fun shows, man. And it's funny because like now they have, what's that thing out in Vegas? It's not the one.
The Sphere?
No. The concert series, it's a festival.
Sickly World?
No. When we were young.
Oh, I had no idea.
Oh, dude, it's like your playlist from 2009 is that venue, or excuse me, is that lineup.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, it's everybody from Blink, Yellow Card, Boys Like Girls. I mean, Mayday Parade, all that shit.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Do you think they like? I like the idea of that, but in my head, I'm like, they're really banking on us paying an exorbitant amount of money.
Oh yeah,
for the nostalgia feels. Okay,
yeah, $1,000. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's a total grab. Like, let's be real here.
Okay,
you know? But I mean, it's from a business side, genius, because they're marketing towards people who now have money,
right,
and want to see those bands, right?
Yeah.
So, but going back to Austin, you know, I ask everybody this question, but what's your take on the term live music capital of the world?
It is honest, it's truthful, and we are the live musical capital of the world. Per Nancy Copeland, saying that per capita, we have more music events going on in Austin than anywhere else. So I'm like, yeah, we should own it. And I think we're starting to see that resurgence out of 2020 because you have venues like Central Machine Works putting in a stage. You have, the Matic Brothers putting in stages at their venues. Mm-hmm. Still, Austin has a stage that's, I guess it's sponsored by Antone's now. Yeah, all these places are putting music venues, or a stage at least, because everyone understands that if you can get a good music crowd going, you're going to make money. And I think that's that was another key takeaway that I took from Nancy's podcast that we did. She was like, the venues at the airport, they see, an uptick in revenue when they have live music at their, establishments. And I go, that's okay. Well, that's kind of, that's enough data points for me to understand that live music is what we do here in Austin, Texas, and it benefits every business that, takes part in it. So, with us being the live music capital of the world, we need to show up to these shows. So, that's kind of like our duties as fans. We got to go out. The older we get, the harder it is to go out. You have families, you have kids. And so it's tough for people with money to go out to these shows. I get it. But in some roundabout way, we need to find a way to get people out there. And I think breweries now, the fact that they're creating like, playgrounds, that's another good way to get the family out there and get exposure to these musicians.
Well, and you just kind of connected some dots for me. The more people that move to Austin that are, with all the tech boom and call it white collar companies, that comes with families. So how can the music scene adapt to that? And you just hit the nail on the head right there, man.
Yep.
It's creating spaces for musicians to be able to perform and make a living off of, while also catering to this live music mecca that we have built in Austin, Texas. So
that's another, I think that's also a line that, musicians and everyone has to balance. Like, you need to have some sort of business model to, generate revenue. So I know it's uncool to like run a musician or be a musician and run it like a business, but that's kind of what you have to do in order to be sustainable.
Yes.
You have to implement some sort of business model to, make money.
You should listen to my show with, shameless plug, but the conversation I have with Zach Morgan.
I listened to it. Yeah.
Okay. He's been around for a decade plus, right?
Yep.
And
that's the reason why I had Nancy on, is because I listened to the episode and he brought her up. I'm like,
nice. Okay.
All right,
cool.
Zach. Hey, I texted him after I heard him. I'm like, hey, dude, can you put me in touch with Nancy? Because I have so many questions.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And I too plan to talk to Nancy because I want to learn more about home as well.
Yep.
And yeah, he was the one who told me that she was the one who coined that term. What was in like late 80s.
Yep.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. And and I ask that to everybody, because everybody has a different answer. Everybody has a different take on it. And it's very interesting, the responses I've gotten. I come at it from a community approach, but yeah, man, it's cool.
Yeah, it was Alex Henley, who's out of Bastrop, and he's a guitarist, blues, R&B type stuff. And when I had him on my podcast, he questioned the idea of like, are we really the Austin music capital or live music?
It's very fair for a musician to ask that.
I get it. And he's like, but you go to Paris and they have all these programs to help support the music industry, not like here in America. I'm like, yeah, but you can leave now for saying that.
Yeah.
But at that point, he's right. And so I think, while he's also right, I think we need to put on we just got to fake it till we are, even if we're not anymore, whatever, just fuck it. It's our thing. Let's just believe in it so much that it does come true,
I agree. And I think that's, to your point about the support system that Paris may or may not have. I've never heard that before, but I mean, look at Ham. Look at Sims.
There you go. Yeah.
Dude, look, that does not exist in any other. I mean, it might exist to a certain extent, but it does not exist to the extent it does in Austin, Texas.
I think his Alex's point was that it was government funded.
Yeah. Okay.
Through those, and I get that.
Yeah.
But again, different economic systems, different governing systems.
Right.
I think here in America, if you want a community to change, I think it needs to come from a private entity organization to help fund that change.
Yeah.
I can't.
I understand that.
As a capitalist, I really don't think the government has it in my best interest to dedicate its services to me, whereas I'm more responsible. I'm working with my community or the community that I'm part of. Like, I know what's good for that. So therefore I'm going to try to be that influence, be that, I don't know, just support that community in the best way I can. Right. So yeah, to your point, I think all these organizations like Ham are doing their part to make sure that the Austin music scene keeps growing and keeps surviving.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you.
This is it's been fun to learn.
Time flies.
To learn about your story.
Jesus.
I know, man. Learn about your story. Learn about Resolute Media. I wish you the best at Pints and Professionals, man.
Thank you. I also have one thing about your show.
Okay, please.
With Aaron Rockland,
Dr. Rock. This man.
I was on my way to Green Hall to work a show there, and I put on that podcast. And Aaron said, even if you hate a song, just put in the effort to listen to it. Even listen to the bad part. Find out what you don't like about it. And just, live in that moment, I guess, if you will. And right after he said that, I put on the album Plastic Beach from the Gorillaz. And there's a song, White Flag, that I always skip through because I hate the opening. It's like, really weird. It's got a conga beat, it's got flutes, and it's just I hated it. I thought it was dumb. And then after hearing that moment, I'm like, all right, well, let me just put it in practice. And so I'm sitting there on I-35, and all of a sudden in that song, it changes to like this epic hip hop beat that just, it's a banger of a song. And I'm like, well, shit. All right. I would have never known how awesome this song is had it not been for your show. And,
Thank you for sharing that, man.
Dr. Aaron. So I was like, okay, so so your podcast is really helping people understand concepts of music. And
thank you.
Him alone and what he's creating is something great.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's the most unique way to experience live music.
I didn't know if it was going to work in the beginning. I was skeptical. I was there the first show, and that's just me and my brain. I'm like, is this really going to work? And it's grown into its own thing now, and it's very cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how it continues to develop for him, because it's the perfect storm of taking what he's dedicated his life to, and his passions, and creating something new in a city that needs something new to experience what they love, which is live music.
Right.
And so, not need something new, just it's a refreshing way to look at it.
It's something different. And it's going to cater to a different audience, and that's good too.
The last one I went to was with the Louisiana Surf Department. Louisiana Surf Department, who's one of my favorite groups in town and in general right now. They were, I think, number 2 on my Spotify list, behind Billy Strings. And, and it's just, I love their music. Their musicality, John's lyrics, everything about it. And I had just had them on the show, so I felt like I was going in knowing who they were, what they were about, what their songs were about. And even I learned something from them.
Right.
Through Dr. Auckland's questions and conversation. So, but no, man, I appreciate it. This is fun.
Yeah.
We'll see you around town.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks so much, guy.
Thanks for listening. Know someone we should talk to? Give us a shout on Instagram at Austin Music People. Tell your friends, tell your family, and get out there and support Austin music.